After 4 years together, Anna missed my gallery opening for the 57th time. She said there was an emergency meeting at work and she couldn't get away, but she promised she'd be there for the next one. I was about to say it was no big deal when I saw them across the street. In a new dessert shop, Anna's male intern was holding a bubble tea, with a lipstick stain on the straw, up to her lips. Anna's a notorious germaphobe. In all our time together, she'd never drunk from anything someone else had touched. But in the next second, she closed her lips around the straw he offered. The intern's clear, cheerful voice drifted over. "Anna, are you sure Leo won't be mad you skipped his show? What's he going to be mad about?" Anna laughed dismissively, wrapping her arm around the intern's waist. "It's just a bunch of boring, lifeless paintings. Not nearly as cute as my Tim." Anna had told me she was going to propose to me on my birthday this year. I glanced at the calendar. My birthday was in 3 days, but I didn't want to marry her anymore. Their playful banter echoed in my ears, and a dull ache started in my chest. "Anna," Tim said, biting his lip with a smug look. Though his tone was fawning, "Leo invited you so many times. You've flaked on him every single time. Isn't that a little messed up? What's the big deal? Besides, didn't I always have a good reason?" Anna pinched Tim's cheek affectionately. "Last time it was your birthday, the time before you had a cold, and the time before that was when we were at the hotel. Anna, why do you tell everyone everything?" Tim blushed and quickly tried to cover her mouth. Anna laughed, grabbing his hand and holding it in hers before placing a kiss on it. "How is that your fault? He's the one with terrible timing. Who can you blame but him?" My vision blurred as tears welled up in my eyes and started to fall. We'd been together for 4 years, but it felt like today was the first time I was truly seeing her. I remembered our 2nd anniversary. Just because I accidentally brushed against her, she threw the cake I had spent hours preparing onto the floor and screamed at me. "Leo, you know I'm a germaphobe. How could you touch me with your filthy hands? You're disgusting." Anna's face was contorted in disgust. After wiping her hands with an alcohol wipe, she threw it at my face and stormed out, completely ignoring my humiliation and the stares of everyone around us. I apologized, mortified, as I struggled to clean the cream smeared all over the restaurant floor, the glare stinging my eyes. She explained it to me later. "Leo, don't overthink it," she'd said. "I'm like that with everyone." I believed her then, but now, the memories were a chaotic jumble, and my gaze kept returning to the image of Anna drinking the bubble tea Tim had handed her. "Leo, the show is about to start," my assistant, Ben, called out, running over to me. "Are we still holding back the centerpiece painting this time?" "The painting? Oh, right. I'd once painted a portrait of Anna, capturing the moment we first met. I'd told her, beaming with happiness, that on the day she proposed, I would unveil it to show the world how happy we were. But now, I laughed at my own foolishness. That wasn't going to happen. "Yes, we're still holding it back," I said, smiling gently at him. "But it will be unveiled at a show 3 days from now. Everyone is welcome to come see it then." By the time the show was over, it was already late afternoon. The moment I turned on my phone, I saw dozens of missed calls from Anna. As I hesitated, she called again. "Leo, you're not home yet, are you?" Anna's voice was sharp with impatience. "I'm working late tonight. Remember to bring 2 meals over. And pick up some spicy hot pot from that place downtown." Tim's cheerful voice chimed in. "Make it extra hot and spicy." My hand tightened around my phone, and I started to tremble with anger. Every time Anna worked late, she had me bring her dinner. 3 months ago, she suddenly told me to start bringing double portions. "I get hungry late at night," she'd said. "1 meal isn't enough." But 3 months ago was exactly when Tim started working for her. It was also right after that when spicy, heavy foods started appearing on her order list. I had asked her about it, curious. She'd just frowned. "You can't handle spicy food, can you? I was worried you'd only think about me and forget to eat yourself." Back then, I was overjoyed, thinking I had finally warmed her cold heart. I thought the stone had finally blossomed. But now I see someone else made it bloom. I didn't want to go, but Anna was an investor in the gallery, and I still had some documents that needed her signature. By the time I arrived at her office, I was soaked from the downpour. I pushed open the door, looking like a mess, and my eyes met Tim's. He was wrapped in Anna's arms. "Oh," Tim yelped, quickly standing up. "You're here." Anna rubbed the back of Tim's hand, which had turned red when he'd bumped it in his haste. "What's the rush? Look, your hand is all red." "I was just worried Leo would get the wrong idea." Anna scoffed. "Him?" As if. She lifted her gaze, giving me a cold look. "Well, are you waiting for an invitation? Leo, you're 20 minutes late, and you've tracked dirty water all over my office. Don't you think you owe me an explanation?" My body was shaking from the cold, my lips turning blue. I could barely speak. I silently placed the insulated bag on her desk. It was raining. Rush hour traffic. Anna frowned, then softened her tone slightly. "Why didn't you take a cab?" "Anna never picked me up." "Leo, you're a grown man," she used to say. "Why do you still need to be chauffeured around like a child?" But on Tim's first day, Anna arranged for a car for him at her own expense. And because he couldn't drive, she hired a dedicated driver for him, too. Looking at Tim's pristine, stylish clothes and then at my own drenched, pathetic state, I suddenly felt an overwhelming urge to run. I hastily pulled out the documents and placed them on the desk. "Anna, these are the papers for the gallery. I need your signature." After she signed, I reached for them, but she held them down. She studied me for a long moment, frowning. "There are clean clothes in the lounge." I paused. My wet clothes were definitely uncomfortable. No point in making myself suffer. I nodded and opened the closet door, only to freeze on the spot. The closet was filled with lingerie and other revealing clothes. I couldn't stop trembling, unsure if I felt more anger or disgust. I rushed to the bathroom and threw up in the toilet. When I was done, I grabbed an alcohol wipe to clean my hands, grateful for the first time that Anna was a germaphobe. After catching my breath, I was about to leave the lounge when I noticed a used condom in the trash can. The air in the bathroom was thick with an unmistakable smell. I couldn't stay there another second. Fighting back nausea, I walked out of the lounge. Anna looked at me, confused that I hadn't changed. "Why didn't you change?" I was silent for a moment, then forced out the words through gritted teeth. "They didn't fit." Anna finally remembered what was in the closet. She shot up from her chair, her eyes wide with panic. "Leo, it's not what you think. Let me explain." Suddenly, Tim cried out. The spicy hot pot had tipped over, splashing all over both of them. "Anna," Tim said, his eyes welling up, "I didn't mean to. Please don't be mad at me." "What are you talking about? Why would I be mad at you?" I couldn't watch anymore. I grabbed the documents and walked straight out of the office. In the last glimpse I had through the closing door, Tim shot me a triumphant, provocative smile. I pulled out my phone and dialed a number. "Professor, I've made up my mind about going abroad. Can you help me book a flight for 3 days from now?" "Leo, are you sure?" My mentor's voice was filled with disbelief. "Aren't you and Anna getting married in 3 days?" 2 days before the gallery opening, my old mentor had reached out, asking if I was interested in developing my career overseas. I had told him I was about to get married and wanted to stay here with her. He was disappointed but said the offer would stand if I ever changed my mind. "Yes, I'm sure," I said, looking back at the office door, which remained closed. "I'll go with you. I understand now. Some things just can't be forced. My one-sided devotion has gone on long enough." I went home, packed my things, and erased every trace of my life there. When Anna came home, she was clearly taken aback to see the house half empty. She looked at me. "Why are you suddenly packing everything up?" I lowered my eyes. "I'm tired of the old look. Time for a change." Anna breathed a sigh of relief and put a credit card down next to me. "If you're tired of it, then change it. Get whatever you want." A business partner sent over some designer watches and cufflinks. "Pick out anything you like." I looked at the exquisitely packaged luxury items. Without exception, they were all complimentary gifts. I shook my head. Before I could say anything, Anna spoke up eagerly. "Oh right, Leo. Tim's power is out at his apartment, so he's going to stay here for the night. I was just going to let him sleep in the guest room. Is that okay? I had to laugh. They'd already done everything else, and now she was putting on this little act for me. I was only going to be here a few more days anyway, so I nodded. Just keep him out of my room. I went into my art studio and looked at all the portraits of Anna I had painted over the years. Happy, sad, confident, joyful. The face was the same, but the person in the paintings was gone forever. I brought in a paper shredder and, one by one, turned every painting into a pile of confetti. It was all over. As I was shredding the last one, my phone lit up. A message from an unknown number. I opened it. It was Tim. The picture showed him in pajamas, curled up in Anna's arms, their pose intimate. Leo, the one who isn't loved is the real third wheel. I heard you really wanted her to see your art show? Well, every time she turned you down, she was with me. Oh, and did you know? The 2 meals you brought over every night, Anna and I ate them together. We'd finish one and things would get heated. Then we'd eat the other one when we got hungry again. Also, I hope you like the watches I didn't want. I closed my eyes. So, my role as her boyfriend of many years was just another part of the game she played with Tim. My gaze fell on the watches and cufflinks on the table. I remembered Anna giving me gifts before. She was always forgetting our anniversaries. Once, I got so angry I ignored her for a week. She showed up with a suitcase full of luxury brands to apologize. She said she was career-focused and couldn't keep track of a guy's sentimental dates. She said if she ever did anything to make me angry, I could hit her or yell at her, but to please never ignore her. But today I realized she wasn't like that with everyone. She remembered the days Tim went to the gym each month. She remembered his birthday, and she certainly remembered to buy him gifts to win him over. She would share a bubble tea with the man she liked, place a kiss on the back of her lover's hand, and go shopping with him during work hours. It was just that I wasn't the person she was willing to do those things for. For the next 2 days, I didn't go home. I poured all my energy into preparing for the final exhibition. At first, Anna praised me for being mature and not making a fuss about Tim. Then her messages became more insistent. Leo, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you answering me? I looked at our text history. It was just long blocks of green from my side. The number of times she had messaged me first was pathetically small. So I sent a perfunctory reply, busy with work. On the day of the exhibition, my assistant Ben, who had gone to pick up the paintings, called me suddenly. Leo, is the centerpiece not being displayed? I was in a car on the way to the airport. What do you mean? Ben sent me a video. My heart stopped when I saw it. The painting I had once cherished more than anything was now splattered with reddish-brown paint and streaks of garish colors. And in the only remaining blank space, scrawled in an arrogant hand, was Tim's message. In your dreams. I was stunned, unsure how to handle the exhibition now. But my mentor, sitting beside me, suddenly spoke up. Leo, back in college, you gave me your first painting. I've kept it safe at home all these years. I remember its title was Rebirth. Sometimes, a farewell can be a new beginning. I gave Ben my mentor's address and then called Anna. My voice was choked with emotion I couldn't suppress. Anna, Tim destroyed my centerpiece. Surprisingly, Anna answered immediately. If it's ruined, it's ruined. It's just one worthless painting. You have plenty of others. All right, stop being childish. I'm coming to the show today, and then I'm going to propose to you. You have no idea. I've pushed all my work aside for the last 2 days just to plan this surprise for you. Hearing her dismissive, cold reply, I knew. Anna, you don't care about me at all. Not my paintings, not me as a person. I thought of the photos Tim sent me. Anna taking him to luxury watch stores, helping him pick out custom-tailored suits, and taking him to that restaurant I'd always wanted to go to but could never get a reservation for. I closed my eyes and silenced my phone. Out of sight, out of mind. Anna, that was the last painting I would ever do of you. If it means nothing to you, then let's just leave it at that. And let's leave us at that too. At the exhibition, Tim suddenly gathered a group of visitors around one painting. The moment Anna saw it, her face turned ashen. Even though most of it was smeared with paint and the canvas was wrinkled, she recognized the subject immediately. It was her. Anna knew that painting like the back of her hand. Every brushstroke had been made by Leo, guiding her own hand. He had told her that her image was etched into his heart, that he could paint her with his eyes closed. But now that painting was displayed in a corner like a piece of trash, ignored in the bustling gallery. A strange sense of panic gripped Anna's heart, a premonition that something incredibly important was about to be lost forever. Who did this? Tim was still preening beside her. So this is the artist's so-called masterpiece. I'd say it's nothing special. It really lives up to the words on it, though, in your dreams. Anna's eyes followed his gesture to the writing. The only clean part of the canvas was covered in red letters. A nameless rage surged through her. Who the hell ruined this painting? No wonder Leo was so heartbroken. A pang of regret shot through Anna as she remembered the choked sound of his voice. If she had known it was this painting, she would have done anything to stand up for him. Suddenly, she paused. The handwriting looked vaguely familiar. She turned to Tim. You? It was you? You destroyed this painting of Leo's. Tim looked flustered. Anna, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Anna was furious. Don't you know this is the painting he was going to display at our wedding? You could have ruined anything else, but you had to ruin this one. Me? Tim's eyes darted around, and he tried to take Anna's wrist appeasingly. Anna, I didn't mean to, Anna shoved his hand away. She scanned the crowd, realizing the exhibition was nearly over and Leo still hadn't shown up. For the first time, she felt a genuine sense of panic. The wedding officiant came over, looking at Tim. Ms. Miller, please don't be upset with your fiancé. It's your big day. Whatever it is, you can talk it out. Anna's brow furrowed. Leo's here? Where is he? For some reason, she was desperate to see Leo, as if seeing him would calm the anxiety churning inside her. The officiant gave Tim a strange look. Isn't this gentleman your fiancé? Anna's frustration boiled over. He is not. She spun around and then pointed at Tim, yelling at the officiant, are you blind? How could he ever compare to Leo? Tim's face went pale. The officiant awkwardly backed away. With the groom nowhere in sight, a murmur went through the guests. I thought Ms. Miller's fiancé was a painter? This is his exhibition, right? It's getting so late. Where is he? Oh, you haven't heard? See that painting in the corner? For a painting to look like that, I'm just baffled anyone can call themselves an artist these days. He's only here because Ms. Miller is backing him. The nerve of him, making everyone wait. Anna bit her lip, trying to quell the rising panic. After calming the guests, she dialed my number. Leo, where are you? The show is almost over, why haven't you shown up? I know what I said was harsh. I didn't know it was that painting that was ruined. I've already talked to Tim. Leo, please just come out. I know you're nearby. You've waited 4 years for this moment. Why would you do this to yourself? Hearing the urgency in her voice, I suddenly smiled. The boarding announcement for my flight echoed through the phone. Anna went silent for a moment. Then her voice turned frantic. Leo, where are you right now? Say something, Leo. Hearing the tremor in her voice, I finally spoke, my tone soft. Don't get upset. It's just a painting. If it's ruined, it's ruined. I don't want the painting anymore. And I don't want you anymore, either. Anna, we're over. I hung up and boarded the plane to a foreign country. On the flight, I had a rare dream. I dreamed of the first time I met Anna. She was so much younger then, so sweet. She would bring me roasted sweet potatoes in the winter and the first hot chocolate of the fall. She once spent a whole month handing out flyers just to buy me expensive paints, nearly getting heat stroke but never complaining once. She'd smiled, her eyes crinkling. Leo, you deserve the best. If I ever betray you, you must never, ever forgive me. I woke up to my phone vibrating wildly, text messages flooding in. Okay, Leo, I've already sent someone to your studio to get another painting. You've painted me so beautifully. Any one of them would be perfect for the wedding. Don't be mad. I docked Tim's bonus for the month. He knows he was wrong. Leo, why are all the paintings gone? My assistant said there are shredded pieces of canvas in the paper shredder. Leo, pick up the phone. I sighed, almost inaudibly. I declined her incoming call, then pulled out the SIM card and dropped it in the trash. Goodbye, Anna. Anna would never forget the heart-stopping panic she felt when she sped home and saw the empty house. All the little things that had felt off suddenly clicked into place, forming a cruel and undeniable truth. Leo was gone. He didn't want her anymore. The two sets of toiletries in the bathroom had, at some point, become one. The clothes in the closet, the slippers by the door. Everything screamed that she was the only one living here now. Anna felt dizzy, nearly collapsing. How could this be? Leo loved her so much. He had been waiting for her to propose. How could he leave at a time like this? No, she must have missed something. Anna staggered to her feet and ran towards my studio. But the moment she saw inside, she froze. The portraits of her, which should have been hanging meticulously on the walls, were gone. In their place, the floor was covered in a chaotic mess of shredded paper. Why? Anna didn't even have the courage to step inside. Anna. Tim came up behind her cautiously. Seeing the wreckage, a satisfied smile touched his lips. What's wrong with Leo? Why would he shred all these paintings? Before he could finish, Anna lunged forward, grabbing him by the throat and slamming him against the wall. You! It was you? Wasn't it? Didn't I tell you to stay out of his room? Tim clawed at her hand, struggling to breathe. It wasn't me. How could it not be you? Anna threw him to the floor. You think Leo would shred them himself? He cherished these paintings of me. He would never do something like this. It was like this when I came in, Tim argued. I just delivered the painting that was hanging right there. Delivered what? Realizing his slip, Tim clamped his mouth shut. Anna laughed. A cold, sharp sound. Tim will have the security footage soon. You'd better hope you really didn't do anything. 3 days after I landed, I was successfully enrolled at the most prestigious academy in the city. The professors were witty, my classmates were easy to get along with, and gradually, I began to forget the unpleasant past. Perhaps our connection had truly run its course. For days, I didn't dream of Anna, nor did I think of her. There was no love or hate left, just an acceptance that what starts must end. It was no big deal, but I never expected to see Anna waiting for me outside my apartment one day. At first, I was surprised. I didn't think I knew any Chinese women here. Then, on second glance, I relaxed. Oh, it's her. Anna looked like she'd been through hell. Her makeup was smudged, her hair was a mess, and dark circles shadowed her eyes. I gave her a polite nod. Can I help you with something? To my surprise, Anna's eyes turned red. Leo, why are you being so cold to me? I looked at her, confused. Are we supposed to be something else? Anna didn't answer, just stood there with tears in her eyes. I hesitated. Was I not clear enough before? After a moment's thought, I nodded to myself. Okay then, let me say it again. Anna stepped forward and grabbed my wrist, cutting me off. I don't want to hear it. All you ever say are things I don't want to hear. Leo, when did you become so cruel? She looked down, her voice filled with hurt. You didn't come to the wedding. You didn't see the 999 blue roses I got for you. You once said that if we got married, you wanted to plant our yard full of them. I had the blue roses ready, but you never came. I pulled my hand back into my sleeve and used the fabric to push her hand off my wrist. Anna, I remember you have a thing about germs. You never let me touch you. I paused. Is that all cured now? Anna looked guilty. She called my name frantically, trying to grab my hand again, but I slapped it away. But Anna, I said, smiling cruelly, now I'm the one with a thing about germs. Don't touch me. You're filthy. Anna's lips tightened. Her eyes were filled with confusion as her hand hovered in the air for a moment before falling limply to her side. Leo, how could you be so heartless? You didn't even leave me a single painting, not one thing to remember you by. A painting? I looked at her with scorn. I did leave one for you. Anna's head snapped up, a flicker of light finally returning to her dark eyes. Really? Where? I smiled. On the wall in my studio, the one directly opposite the door. Remember? I watched the color drain from Anna's face and smirked. I left it for you, but I never expected someone would go into my studio and destroy it. After all, when you let Tim stay over, you swore he would only be in the guest room. But in the end, it's just a worthless painting. Ruined is ruined. No. Anna suddenly yelled at me, her bravado fading under my surprised gaze. No, it wasn't a worthless painting. It was the one of our first meeting, the one you drew by guiding my hand, brushstroke by brushstroke. I shrugged indifferently. Okay, if you say so. As Anna stared at me in disbelief, I yawned. I'm tired. Would you mind moving? I woke up to a message from my professor, asking me to drop off some materials for him. When I opened my door, I jumped. A dark figure was standing right outside. I frowned at her. Anna, you're still here? Anna looked down. You once said that home is wherever we are together. If you won't be with me, then I'll just follow you. As she started to move closer, I shoved her away. She couldn't dodge in time, and her elbow slammed into a metal box behind her, leaving a bloody gash. I glanced at the time, annoyed, then went back inside to grab iodine, alcohol, and bandages, tossing them at her. Ignoring her injury, Anna looked at me with renewed hope. Leo, I knew you still had feelings for me. You're imagining things, I said, grabbing my folder. Just don't die on my doorstep. When I saw she was about to follow me, I turned and warned her, and don't follow me again. After dropping off the materials, my professor stopped me. Leo, I haven't had the chance before. Since you're both here today, it's a good time for you to meet. This is Lily. She's a year younger than you, your junior. The girl in the white shirt had a pair of cute dimples and a smile that reached her eyes. Hi, it's nice to meet you. I nodded. You too. My professor looked at us with satisfaction. I only brought the two of you with me on this trip. You should look out for each other. Don't worry, Professor, I will, Lily said with a wink. It's getting late. Let me walk you home. Not wanting to worry my professor, I agreed. Lily was very talkative, telling me all about local customs on the way. But as we reached my apartment, she pointed at a pile of cigarette butts by my door, her expression concerned. Leo, this doesn't seem very safe. I almost laughed. It was strange. When did Anna start smoking? Anna didn't show up again after that night. As for Lily, since we were in the same group, we started seeing more of each other. I gradually discovered that besides our compatibility in art, we shared a lot of the same interests and hobbies. My life settled into a calm, steady rhythm. The fifth time Lily walked me home, we ran into an unexpected person at my door. She looked at me and Lily, and the bouquet of blue roses in her hand fell to the ground. Leo, she said, her voice trembling. You? I thought for a moment. You should head home. Thanks for today. Lily glanced from me to Anna, then suddenly smiled. Between you and me, there's no need for thanks. Seeing Anna's face drain of color, I sighed. Come on in. I couldn't remember the last time Anna and I had been in the same room. But this time, Anna had a lot to say. Leo, I know I was wrong. After you left, Tim took that ruined painting and started smearing your reputation online, trying to get you canceled. But I found out, and I forced him to retract everything and delete his accounts. I also tried my best to restore the painting. It will never be the same, but at least it gives me something to hold on to. I bought that restaurant you always wanted to go to. We can go anytime you want. And the watches, the luxury car keys, I put them all in your room. When are you coming back? There was more to the story than what she was telling me. After Anna found out that Tim had not only destroyed my last painting of her, but also planned to use it to ruin my career, she was enraged. She fired him and made him pay back every cent she had spent on him. Not only that, she forced him to kneel and kowtow in front of my bedroom door, telling him he would atone on his knees every day until I returned. Anna wouldn't let him get up or eat properly, feeding him only half-cooked rice. Eventually, his legs developed necrosis, his stomach failed, and he was on the verge of death. Only then did Anna discard him in a mental hospital. Life was terrible for Tim there. He survived on a liquid diet and was given special attention under Anna's orders. Someone who saw him before he was admitted said he was emaciated, like a walking corpse. After that, no one ever heard from Tim again. Then Anna started buying things frantically. The restaurant I always wanted to visit, new designer watches and jewelry, and massive bouquets of blue roses. But I looked at Anna. "Do you love me?" Anna said urgently, "Of course I do. But you told me you were a germaphobe and wouldn't let me touch you. Yet you drank from the bubble tea Tim handed you. And in the lounge, you two even—" Anna's face went white. "The night you let Tim stay over, he sent me a picture of you two in bed together. Anna, look me in the eye and tell me he really stayed in the guest room that night." Anna stammered, unable to say anything. "It was bad enough you had me bring an extra meal for him, but you and he would eat while, and the watches you let me pick from were Tim's leftovers." I shook my head. "Anna, you're disgusting. Your love is so cheap." Anna's eyes reddened. Her hand trembled as she reached for me, but then she seemed to remember something. Her hand paused mid-air and then retreated. "You enjoyed being taken care of by me while also craving the novelty of Tim. Anna, you don't love me. You just love the feeling of being adored by two people at the same time." I shook my head, stood up, and opened the door. "Unfortunately, I don't share that particular kink." Outside, Lily had returned. She smiled when she saw me. "Leo, I was worried about you." Anna was silent for a long moment before she looked up at me. "Leo, can we still be friends?" I was about to say no, but then I saw the blue rose petals on the ground outside and changed my mind. Anna would be returning to her country soon. We would never see each other again in this lifetime. "Fine. I hope you remember what being a friend means." Anna left. Lily stared after her, a thoughtful look on her face. I looked at her with amusement. "What is it?" "Nothing. It's just you should probably avoid shady people like that." I smiled but said nothing. I thought I would never see Anna again. But 2 weeks later, she showed up with a painting. "Leo, I had many copies made of the original, but none of them look right," Anna said, watching me carefully. "Could you help me fix it?" I was silent. When I painted that piece, my heart and soul were filled with her. Every stroke was an expression of my love. But now things were different. Even I couldn't replicate the feeling from back then. When I told her this, Anna's face fell. She bit her lip, then looked at me tentatively. "Could you paint a new one for me, then? I can pay you more." I was trying to think of a polite way to refuse when Lily's voice came from inside the apartment. "No." She walked out and stood in front of me. "Ma'am," Lily said with a half smile, "a good ex-girlfriend should act like she's dead. What am I supposed to think with you showing up at my boyfriend's place every day?" Anna looked at me in shock, her gaze shifting to the hand Lily had taken in hers. After a long moment, she finally lowered her head. Anna left and Lily closed the door. I pulled my hand from Lily's grasp and crossed my arms. "Okay, explain. Since when am I your boyfriend?" Lily's eyes were wide and innocent. "What are you talking about? I was just helping you out. This way, the problem's solved for good, right?" "Oh, is that so?" I watched her nod enthusiastically, then changed the subject. "The light bulb is fixed. You can go now." I closed the door on Lily's resentful glare. The next morning, as I opened my door, an object fell forward. I looked closer. It was Anna. Her clothes were soaked, her hair was damp and matted, and she was burning up with a fever. Her face was flushed. She looked like she had been out in the rain all night. I took a step back and called for an ambulance. Just as the paramedics were about to take her away, she suddenly regained consciousness and grabbed the corner of my shirt, refusing to let go. "Leo, I know I wronged you. I neglected you so many times and made you stand in the rain so often. I never knew how awful it felt to wait for someone like this. Before, you would never have let me get caught in the rain, but now, Leo, I know I don't have the right to stay by your side anymore. In the days to come, without me, you have to take care of yourself." Before I could even nod, Anna passed out again, completely unconscious. A few days later, I received a cake from an anonymous sender. A note was attached. "I'm gone. Be well." 6 months into my new life abroad, news from home would occasionally reach me. I heard that Anna and Tim were both dead. One died at home, the other in a mental hospital. Apparently, after Anna returned, Tim had requested to see her, claiming he had news about me. When he saw Anna's disheveled state, he started laughing, a wild, crazed sound. The nurses tried to give him a sedative, but Anna stopped them. When Tim had laughed his fill, He looked at Anna with a mixture of pity and contempt. He told her, "Anna, you never knew your own heart. You're such a contradiction, Anna. You loved Leo when you were with me, and you loved me when you were with Leo. On the surface, you pampered me, buying me all those watches and designer things, but in the end, most of it ended up in Leo's room. You took me to the restaurant Leo always wanted to go to, wanting to try the dishes he liked in advance, but all Leo saw was that you didn't care about him. Leo thought you loved me, but the only person you ever loved was Leo. Isn't it hilarious, Anna? Even when he left, Leo never once opened that closet full of designer watches." Anna's eyes were wild. "Enough," Tim continued. "Do you know how he reacted when I sent him that photo? He didn't say a single word. The great Anna Miller. Your way of loving someone is to push them further and further away." I said, "Enough." Anna snatched the syringe from the nurse's tray and plunged it into Tim's artery. His laughter stopped abruptly. Anna remembered the day of the wedding, how she had driven recklessly home, only to find the studio floor covered in shredded paper. In that moment, it felt like all the blood in her body had frozen. The studio was right there, but she couldn't take a single step forward. The floor was carpeted with tiny scraps of paper. She recognized every single one. It was her as seen through Leo's eyes, but every version of her was shattered, and no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't piece a single one back together. She suddenly felt that she had been shattered along with the paintings, that she could never be whole again. Why else would her heart hurt so much? A pain so intense it made her fingertips tremble. Tim died in a sparse, empty hospital room, his eyes open. Anna went home in a daze. She looked at the painting she could never replicate, the one that would never be the same, and broke down, sobbing. Later that night, she set herself on fire, clutching that painting. Her last words were, "Leo, I'm so sorry, but I really did love you." I felt a strange sense of melancholy when I heard the news. Not regret, exactly, but a sadness for how things had turned out, for a path that had twisted so unexpectedly. Lily handed me a glass of water. "Here, drink this." I took it and she sat down next to me. "What are you going to do with the inheritance Anna left you?" My eyes fell on the deed of gift that had arrived from across the ocean. "Donate it all in her name." "And what about me?" "What?" I didn't quite follow. "Me? When are you finally going to make it official?" I couldn't help but laugh. I looked out at the rising sun over the ocean, where two seabirds were flying together. The sunlight scattered across the vast sea, broken into shimmering fragments by the waves, then pushed toward the horizon by the wind. The people and events of the past will eventually be forgotten. In the long river of time, all we can do is move forward. Well, that depends on your performance, I guess. The sun will always break through the darkness. And I, too, would have my own rebirth.